Okay, so today we're doing some brand new line markings outside. It's absolutely freezing, well, just above, it's about 3 degrees, so just good enough for the paints to go down. Let me show you what we're actually up to though. So we've got the grey coat lined up, and we're gonna be spraying with this machine today. What we're doing, we've got some arrows and bits and pieces to go in first down here, a bit of text, parking bays on an angle this side, some zebra crossings and walkways. And then just up here, we're just setting up to write the company name in. So this is a place called Viva here in Cambridge. And we're going to be splitting this across the road. So for this one, a hand mold is normally what we'd want to use. They're nice and easy to use. But for this one, we're actually going to use a spray machine, which should look pretty good once it's in. So let's get it on the machine and we'll get going with it. This is always one of those times where you've got to remember which way around to start spraying so you don't get it wrong, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's line her up. All right, so got the company name in. Next up we're gonna do is the double yellows that are gonna run all the way down the edge here. So let's get those in. First double, well, first single, we'll add a double next to it in just a second. There's a huge difference between, you know, a piston machine like this one here and a hydraulic machine. Just that running sound. These ones, you feel they almost sound like they're struggling, whereas the hydraulics, they just sound so good. They're so smooth, and you get that really slow sort of stroke with it. But to be fair, I've got to say, this is my favorite machine. I've had this one for a couple of years now. It's probably the cheapest machine we have, and I would say it is by far the best. Hands down to Graco on this one. The 5900 is an absolute workhorse. Let me bring this a little bit closer. The finish you get from these lines is absolutely brilliant. I would say this product, it looks like a thermo when you see it on the ground because it's quite thick. The coloration is fantastic. It looks absolutely brilliant. I would definitely liken this to a sort of thermo look. And I love it. Given the choice, it's always the product I would use this one for sort of lining if you're going to spray. It's a solvent-based acrylic. It's just so tough, so thick. So if you see it down here, let's scroll down, I'll show you these bits for Viva. It's looking amazing. I did make a slight mistake. It's too late to rectify now, but let me show you what it is. So what I did is I separated a gap off of here of 5 centimeters either side of the join, but my V has started, as you see, I've gone 5 centimeters over. So I've started it like on this bit, and I should have started it on this bit at the top up there. So it's, this line should be here as opposed to here. So the whole thing should sat there. But to be fair, I think looking at it, it looks great. I'm happy enough with it. I'm not going to take it all out because that would make it even worse. We'll just have to apologize to the customer and explain, you know, I made a mistake on this one, ever so sorry. If they want it taking out, we can do, but I think honestly that would look worse. I think this looks absolutely brilliant as it is. I was thinking I'm going to just add the little bits on the top and the bottom of the I, V and A, but they've got this sort of squiggly bit on the top here. Made a schoolboy error, look at that. See that? Schoolboy error. There's always one. Well, it's always me, isn't it? I mean, it would be me, it couldn't be anyone else, but I'm gonna have to go and repair that. I can't leave that one now. But yeah, it's this bit here. It's that little top of the V. We can get it in. I draw it with the chalk first to try and get it looking just so. So we'd have the little squiggle on the top and then the bottom. Anyway, I'm gonna crack on with some more bits. We've got the arrows to go in next. I think these are going to go in white or yellow. In fact, I better check which one they want because it's planned for white, but I think yellow actually stands out better on the concrete, so I'd prefer yellow. But of course, up to the customer. I'll see which way they want to go with it. As we've just put these bits in, a lorry pulled up and obviously wants to get in. There's a good half hour of curing still to go on this, so we've got to wait, unfortunately, or they've got to wait. We're going to crack on with some work. He's going to have to hang on. All right, let's take that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it again as well. This is number 8. There's plenty of room. Yeah, add one more on the end and that'll give them an extra couple of bags. So unfortunately, we've got a lorry turned up. Good half hour of curing still to go on this, so we've got to wait, unfortunately. The lines aren't dry, but we're going to go see what the damage is. Over the doubles, not too bad. They'll fare okay. The V, well, it kind of smudged all the paint off. Yeah, ruined that. But hey, sort of things you have to put up with. This is where things like thermoplastic come in quite handy, because obviously it's dry within a few minutes. But this is on concrete. Thermoplastic is really designed for tarmac. Now you can get some thermoplastics that do go down very well in concrete, or you could use a primer as well, but it's definitely not the best way to do it. You're still better off with an acrylic like this, or a solvent, or an MMA, something like that. But it is what it is. We're only going to go to the 4.7 on it. I think what we do is we string them all in, and then what we'll do is we'll just measure 5 meters along the line here and up there, because that won't be the same as 5 meters along that back edge. We want 5 meters on the diagonal. So it's a little bit faint. I don't know if you guys can see. This is our string line that we're putting in here. What we want to do is go 4.7 off of here, this little blue point that I've got just here, up to that end over there. So if you go on the blue. So our line will actually end, 4.7 is there. So that's perfect. So just mark 2.4 on the ground. Yeah, next one. Let's string line the 2.4s from there all the way down to these ones over here. You got it? Yep, ping it. Yeah, go. Yeah, we'll get one more on that. I literally put thermals on today, 2 jackets, t-shirt, thermal trousers. I've got everything on. It was bloody freezing this morning. Now, wow, getting hot. So I'm just about ready to start pulling this line in. It's very, very faint, but I'm going to be following a chalk line and stopping just short of the water that we've got here. Now, apologies, it is a little bit noisy. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay with it, but we'll get our machine lined up roughly where we want to start. So I can see the white line there, and all I'm going to do is push it down a meter or so, just check that it's staying true, running along that white line that we've got. And then I'm going to pull back to the start. So I've got a laser pointing right here under the gun, and I've got another one just here, and that one there is going to be what we're using for the string line. So we're going to start roughly where we are here and pull the trigger and just walk it in slowly. This needs to be a slower than a walking pace. And that's it. So we're stopping ever so slightly short of the water on that. What we'll do next, we're going to put the next line in just over here. So 2.4 meters away. Next one about to go down. So again, real nice and slow, just slower than a walking pace. And we're done. So this is an acrylic we're using again for this one. And we use line weight for ours. Absolutely superb. I mean, we use a lot of acrylics for our indoors as well, actually, but we find this product, it's a bit too thick to spread indoors. It doesn't hand apply very well, it's too thick for that. But for outdoors, you want a really nice thick line. And I'll show you in a moment, but this one, as I was saying with the yellow, it looks like a thermoplastic because it's so thick. Has a bit of a ridge to the edge, and it's super durable as well. It's absolutely brilliant. So as you can see, you get this really nice ridge to it. Really quite a thick product when it goes down. So let's get the rest of the lines in. I'll show you what the rest of it looks like going in. They look a little funny, the angle bays. Never my favorites. So next one is so faint. We're using a white chalk. Normally we have a green chalk, but we swapped over to a white because we heard great things about it. But quite honestly, maybe it's better for indoors. Certainly outside, on concrete, terrible. Tarmac, amazing. So normally we'd have an orange, a red, or a blue chalk, something that really stands out. But it depends on what product you're putting down as well, because what you don't want is the chalk to show through. And if you're spraying, because it's a lot thinner than, say, thermoplastic, it can actually show through, so you've got to be fairly careful to make sure the product you're putting down is right. Yeah, it looks great. All right, that's pretty much a wrap for this job at Viva Imports. Off to the next one. Let me give you a quick show around and we'll get out of here. So this is the signage we put in where the lorry drove over after we installed it. But that's the Viva signs. We've got the nice double yellows running in down both sides over there as well. They wanted visitors and loading on here with some nice arrows, so we've chucked these in. We use a stencil for these ones as well, so we can get it nice and evenly spaced, making it look amazing. John's just grabbing the last little bits over here. So these are the new walkways and zebras that we've added in. You can just see over there. And then over this side, we've got all the parking spaces. These are a 60-degree angle we've put in for the parking bays, and then we did exactly the same for the yellow hatch lines that you see over here as well. Looking absolutely amazing. Let me just grab my stuff because I know I'm going to forget my bottle. This morning it was, I mean now you can tell it's so bright, you can barely see, but this morning it was so cold. I got thermals on and everything. So we've got the zebras in here, walkways running along. These are little fire exit sort of hatch lines that we put in little boxes for them as well. Just runs up to the end. And that's pretty much it. Nice, easy little job, this one. Took a couple of hours. We had to wait for a few lorries. A few people drove over the lines. These ones you see behind me, only just cured. But anyway, that's it for this one. I will see you all in the next one.